Good morning. Patty, you look frozen.
I trying to reply to my little sister. Okay.
All right. I'm on early.
Well, I think it's 9:30.
Close.
There we are.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in Bitcoin. Jesus Christ, it's so flat.
Well, Aaron is going to be on, but he's going to be on a little bit later. So
Damn.
we'll start off and with you, and in a little bit we'll get people on, and then we'll go from there.
Oh God.
Let's see, somebody just texted me.
Reba, she asked if you would post something. What
You
the
put something
hell?
in my
Strategy is down almost.
email.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah, got it.
holy. I wonder why they delayed the PCE um, data to 10 o'clock because I was looking forward to it at 8:30. I was like, maybe that'll give the market a bounce.
Give me a second. That's not it. Let me get this link set up here.
I don't know what's going on. I feel like those market makers are giving benefit to puts. I have this Oracle put that is a 210 put, and they refuse to change the price. And Oracle is up 218,
Dang.
almost $5 today. It's like they won't change the price. It's really
That's
frustrating.
happened before, right?
Yes, I think
Is that Robinhood or
maybe
is that Schwab? Well, it doesn't matter.
now I'm on Schwab, but I wonder if people are buying the puts, so it's just increasing the prices.
Hmm.
Though there it finally went down. Maybe they were just slow. Well, is
Okay.
anybody else on? Is it just us?
Might be.
Okay.
I
All
can't.
the important people are here.
What's wrong with
Yes.
us?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, our guy Greg can't make it, but that's okay. That happens.
Darn. So he's not going to talk about the Japanese yen trade.
Well, no, but yeah, he cannot make it, so that's okay. But anyway, um,
I'm eating breakfast, so that's why I turned my camera off. Sorry about that.
well, we
Jump away.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go quickly because there's not much to report. The market has been one big yawn all week. Yeah, George, you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, that's great. My screen just went blank on me, so I may have to restart or something, but go ahead.
Okay. And I keep getting phone calls, so sorry if I
I can
get
still
dropped.
see you.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. So the market has been very flat. I don't know what it's waiting on. Maybe next week when Jay Powell speaks and the Federal Reserve, most likely it's about 90% now that they will cut interest rates, but it's been very flat. But the Dow is up less than 1% this morning, might give it a boost. 0.74%. It just gained 351 points. The S&P is up almost the same, 0.75%. It gained 52 points. It is nearing 7,000, and there are a lot of banks that are thinking we will hit 7,000 by the end of the year. So that will
Um,
require a lot of upside in the last 2 weeks of December. The NASDAQ is up 1.44%. Uh, it is staying above 25,000. Retail investors, I think, pushed it up last week. So it's 25,616. The Russell has done the best. It was, as of this morning, about an hour ago, up 2%. It just gained 50 points, but it's done the best all week. Gold is pretty much flat. It's at 4,260. 54, I think I had, or 64. It's up less than 0.5%, 0.42. Silver's done better than gold. It's reached 58.75, so it's staying above the $50 level. It's up 1.5%. The dollar has weakened. Remember, we were right at $1 2 weeks ago, but now it's at 98.96, so down about a point. The 10-year continues to rise. It is 4.12 this morning, and it's going higher on all of the discussion of, is it Hassett or Hassert, who Trump is toying and talking to people about maybe he would be Jay Powell's replacement. And apparently Wall Street folks don't like him. So
Really?
the bond market is chiming in and saying, don't pick him. So I think Trump is...
Well, that means it's a sure thing.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. So he might go back to his drawing board. There are about 4 other guys that were in the running. And while WTI is still below $60, it was at 59.62 this morning. The oil stocks seem to be doing better, and the XLE rose from about 88 to 92. That's the ETF that covers like Chevron, Exxon. So for whatever reason, the oil stocks are doing better while WTI is going lower. PCE, the personal consumption expenditures, usually comes out at 8:30 in the morning. For some reason, they've delayed that until 10 o'clock this morning. So
really?
We'll see what that is. And I was trying to find a stock that would be interesting to comment on. Netflix overnight won the bid to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. And so a couple of weeks ago, Netflix stock split, and it was about $114. It went down to 103, 104. And this morning, the stock was down more than 5%, but it's starting to recover. So one Netflix share is about $99 this morning. That's all I got.
Again? One?
The stock is $99 this morning.
Well, what
it was
did
a 10 to 1 split.
10 to 1, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it was about 11.20 when it split. And it's just gone down ever since it split. When I think investors are like, there's no reason for you to purchase Warner Brothers. You create your own content. Why are you trying to buy something? It's their first purchase.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Well, let's hope for an update. And I want some good news on crypto.
You want some good news on crypto?
Yes, it's flat as a pancake. And it's going down.
Yeah.
Just give it time.
Yes, there you go. So let me do this. I'm having issues with my screen, but I'll just struggle through. And if it's a little choppy on my end, it's because my screen goes out on me. So anyway, just forgive me for that. Aaron, are you on yet? I could text him, I guess, and see if he's on. No, he's not on. So yeah, he would have some information, I guess, on crypto. And
well, let me just chime in because I keep
Sure.
trying to read about Bitcoin. Robinhood does give you, up to date and very good information every night. So on Tuesday, 266,000 more accounts were liquidated. I guess because they were over leveraged and the market went down and they got pushed out. So it was forced liquidation, which really pushed Bitcoin down again. I forget what the level was that day, but it was pretty painful. And the hedge funds seem to be out of Bitcoin. It's like they took all their money and ran. So now, just from the information that I see on Robinhood, and they're constantly, it's not their information, they're reporting from other sources. They said basically it's retailers, people like us holding Bitcoin and other crypto. So it's up to us to get the price higher.
And Michael
I'm
Saylor.
swanning, I'm tapped out.
Oh, welcome to the club.
Yeah, I mean, you can only add, money so many times a week.
Exactly. Well, you could do like the Japanese have done and or not the Japanese, but friends of the Japanese go borrow that money at zero interest and leverage it.
But those are the people who are getting out of whack. Okay, so
Yeah.
Greg is
But
not on, and he was going to address the Japanese yen trade. So
yeah.
the Japanese bonds,
Well, hang on one second. Hang
I
on one
didn't do
second. Hey.
research on this.
That's okay. I've got what we're going to do is try and tie a couple of things together, and we're going to try and make it all revolve around Bitcoin. But I think we have to do some work to get there. And so I want to first of all talk about why we're in this. I'm going to try and link a couple of things. The debt that we're in, the yen carry trade, its impact on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. And so that's kind of the thing. It may take a couple of Fridays to get there. But this is recorded, no financial advice, and we're going to uh, put this on YouTube video. So we can go back and see how smart we were in about a month or two. Right? Okay.
Yay.
First of all, I wanted to just kind of read this little piece I put together about why we're in this debt mess that we're in right now. So I call it the evolution of the reserve currency. Established in 1913, the Federal Reserve stewarded the U.S. economy through two world wars. Um, this and subsequently the 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement defined the architecture of post-war global finance, which officially designated the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. And while that sounds impressive, what has happened is it's necessary for global liquidity for the US to maintain a trade deficit. And that's kind of an accepted structural characteristic of the system at the time. But this accumulated obligation was manageable until the trade imbalance and foreign gold outflows from the US Treasury forced President Nixon to decouple the dollar from the gold. So we became what is known as a fiat currency at that point in time. And basically, now we're unrestrained by gold standard, and the debt can surge because there's no anchor for it. So it's just full faith and credit of the United States government. Compounded with that was entrenched mandatory spending, costly military interventions in the Middle East, and the unprecedented COVID-19 stimulus. The total national debt has ballooned to a staggering $37 trillion, which today presents us with a critical economic question. How can the U.S. effectively monetize and ultimately reduce this historic financial burden? So that's kind of setting it up. And $37 trillion is a lot of money. I thought, well, why don't we take all the parks that we have in the United States and we'll just sell them? And it doesn't. So I asked Grok or one of those AI tools, and it said won't even come close to putting a dent in the deficit if you sold all the parks and land in the United States that the federal government owns. So it was a mix of other things, but I was like, dang, that's a huge nut to crack. So trying to get to that whole thing is where I'm going, but I'm gonna go to the yen carry trade now, unless somebody wants to comment on
Well,
the trade. I mean, on the deficit.
I do
It's easy to
because,
fix. You just default on it because the good faith and credit of the United States is the only thing backing it. There isn't anything that you really have to give up. So I can see that Mark will join me in that philosophy. The answer is the only thing that makes a bondholder pay is a willingness to pay. You don't have any other obligation. See ya.
Or
Right, but if we
you can
default,
inflate
then they won't buy it again.
Yeah,
you can
but Patty,
inflate the
Yeah, that would
Patty,
be a wonderful thing because
Yeah.
then we'd actually have to live within our means. So let's
Yeah,
just move on.
You'll
So-
inflate the currency in the meantime, and Russia's already done this, so this isn't unusual. It just and also, George, gold doesn't back anyone's currency anymore. At
Right.
least no big, no
Right,
big
right.
countries. The Bretton Woods was not just about the United States not using gold. It was we're no longer going to do large currency transfers between countries because you couldn't use gold in the United States anyway.
Right.
FDR did away with that. You and I could not trade gold. We couldn't even
No,
own
that was
gold.
Nixon.
No, that
No,
was FDR.
Nixon depegged, and then the world became
Yeah.
the entire world, which is on fiat, then became pegged to the US dollar, which then became full fiat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was fiat backing fiat. So the question I always pose, and Mark, I'm sorry, are you done?
Well, I know. I mean, I just wanted to point out that
Yeah, he's done.
gold was only a transfer mechanism between countries. You could not use it in the United States
Right.
since FDR.
Yeah,
After
right.
1933.
Right. It's just this gold thing that Nixon did has nothing to do with you and I, and nothing to do with companies in the United States, and nothing to do with any corporations.
It has a lot
It was
to do with it,
strictly
Mark.
between
It's
governments.
why we're in $37 trillion worth
No,
of
no,
debt.
George,
Oh, yeah,
it's
it does.
not
Oh, yeah, it
actually.
is. Yeah.
It's not.
Hold on. So,
Right.
George, the only reason that the debt can get, unless Mark, please jump in. The only reason that we can get to 37 trillion in debt is because all of the debt creation starts with the ability to create credit through the Fed, which then trickles down into the banking system. Is that not
Yes,
correct?
by buying treasury bonds.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so here we are 37 trillion in debt, but yet the world as a whole is 300 trillion in debt. So the question I always pose is, who do we owe the 37 trillion to? I think it's one big shell game that everybody owns everything. And so one possible outcome is just the complete revaluation of everything. So
Yeah.
if you revalue gold, you revalue all assets. And I know that people kind of cringe at the US debt clock, but there is a bar at the bottom which actually tracks all of the assets of the United States. And so when you look at that figure, which is like 160, 170 trillion, 37 trillion doesn't seem that bad.
Right.
So,
And then
still
right. And I know we're probably now going off on a tangent, and I'm helping to facilitate that, but one aspect of it also might be how stablecoins, which are backed by USD, could affect the repayment obligations and the growth of the treasury market.
In a positive way.
Well,
someone
And
floated.
let's not forget the tariffs. I mean, obviously, we're bringing in record revenues as well, basically balancing trade between economies that we were always in a trade deficit. Not to mention, we have the tailwinds of the Trump administration behind the crypto market. I mean, they're working everything into, crypto into everything. I mean, this is a coupling that is not going to go away.
Well, okay, on that, they are collecting money from the tariffs, but they have to choose to actually use it to pay down the debt.
Right.
I don't think they are. I think
or
they're just
not pay
holding
down
on
the
to it.
debt.
Or
Which
not
is
pay down the
fine.
debt and use it as funding for the new system.
Or get us a $2,000
Productivity.
I mean,
Exactly.
We're not
George.
paying down the debt because we can't even pay the interest that accrues on the debt, so
Right.
much less repaying the principal.
It's like getting a credit card to pay your minimum payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm really struggling with this screen of mine, so I apologize. But let's switch over a little bit towards. Let me see if I can. But it's a fascinating conversation where we are. But I'm just really struggling with my screen, so I can't do much right this minute. But we wanted to we'll switch over a little bit to the yen carry trade and what that is and why it's important, particularly as it relates to Bitcoin. And Reba, I'm going to restart my computer, but if you would just please, could you start this conversation and sort of explain a little bit what this animal is and bring us up to speed a little bit while I mess around with my laptop?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. And thank you. I'd be happy to do so. And I first of all give a very big caveat that I am not an expert in this area. I know a little bit about it, and so therefore I'm very dangerous. So just to sort of to level set, a carry trade, it's really borrowing in the context of currency. It's borrowing one currency that has relatively low interest rate and then swapping it for a currency that has a relatively higher interest rate. So in the context of yen, that yen carry trade flourished when the Bank of Japan had a really tight lid on interest rates. So they were around zero, as we all know. And so it now recently is trying to normalize that, and they raised the interest rate. If we put that in the context alongside of Bitcoin, it could have a really negative impact on Bitcoin, on the price during this period of let's say unwind of the earlier policy in Japan, because investors are selling riskier assets like crypto to repay loans in a strengthening yen environment. So that's kind of the context for all of this. And I'll stop
And they're high
right
okay,
there.
So
We
it
can
was
also
about,
talk about
I just wanted to tell the rate.
Mhm.
It was about 1.8 earlier this week, and today, or as of midnight last night, it's 1.944. So that is the highest level in Japan's history.